With over 25 years experience in transformation, innovation, quality and simplification, TIQS, Anshuman Tiwari is a passionate and result-oriented leader who delivers world-class operations excellence to clients across multiple industries. As the global head of operational excellence at DXC Technology, he leads a global team to simplify and transform DXC's delivery to customers, displaying world class performance, deploying world class processes, ensuring compliance, continuity, and also improvement. He's also an ASQ fellow. For those of you who are not aware of ASQ, ASQ stands for American Society for Quality, which is a prominent body actually runs certain certifications like Lean Six Sigma, and in fact, they have set a lot of global standards with regard to quality as well as the Lean Six Sigma aspects. He's also a LinkedIn top voice and a mid-career coach who loves to share his knowledge and expertise with others. And he has taught quality principles, methods, and tools to over 10,000 professionals and helped his clients win several quality awards, including the Deming Prize. So, for those of you who are new to quality world are not aware of Deming Prize, I'm going to talk about Deming Prize towards the end of the episode as part of the trivia. And Anshuman's mission is to make an impact and to lead people to deliver 10x results. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation to cover a range of topics including mid-career challenges, career growth, upskilling, networking on LinkedIn, and also quality management, here's an exciting twist. First, let us tickle his brain. So, Anshuman, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you are ready, let's dive in.
Sure.
Okay, here comes my first word: curiosity.
Be childlike.
Invention.
Takes the human race forward.
Future.
Will happen even if you are not ready.
Book.
I love books. You can see behind me, but my favorite all time is 7 Habits for Effective People.
Ditto. In fact, that is one of the first books which I have read in my career. And quality.
Anything that is worth doing is also worth doing better. So keep getting better is quality to me.
And here comes my favorite word: customer.
Reason for our existence.
Universe.
It's a mystery.
Leadership.
Leadership is a verb, not a noun.
Awesome. And role model.
My role model is Suresh Lula sir, who's guided me in my quality field. So I look up to him a lot. Yeah.
And the last one is success.
Success is relative, man. It can be anything for anybody, but I will say relative.
Yeah, I love your perspective, and thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round. There is one more rapid fire round waiting towards the fag end of the episode, so stay tuned, Anshuman. And folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Anshuman, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. Super excited to host you today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you, Naveen. And hope all is well with you. This is fantastic, man. I just was looking at your podcast as, like 425 or so episodes. Most people give up at 10, and you are doing fantastic job. I keep saying that in anything, consistency is the first principle.
Yeah.
If you don't show up, nothing really happens. You've been doing that really well, and the quality is very, very good. So happy to be here, honored to be here, and looking forward to the questions that you have for me.
Pleasure to have you. And this is the world's only trilingual podcast which has crossed 560 episodes. It is available in Telugu, Hindi, and English, but I am struggling to spread the reach in terms of it is not there where it is supposed to be. But I'm not going to give up. And as you said, consistency and also continuous improvement are two things which I strongly believe in, since I'm also a quality guy. And you will see at least 0.01% improvement from one episode to another episode. I believe in that, and that's why I don't wait for things to be perfect. Perfection will come over a period of time, and that is a myth. So excited to have you, and let's get started with your success mantra. So please talk to us about top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
So, firstly, I don't call myself a success yet. I did share that success is relative. So, everybody, for some people, I may be successful, and for myself, I may not be, and for many others, I may be a total failure as well. So, but I do understand that at this stage of my career that I am, it is my responsibility to also guide others who are on their way. So I keep saying that everything in my life is brick by brick. And
Mhm.
if you hear my recent work as well, I keep repeating this because everything in life, for most of us, except some geniuses, for most of us,
Mhm.
you build a wall brick by brick. So you
Yeah.
keep laying bricks, and one day that wall is really neat and nice and strong and robust. So that is my life, and that is the life everybody else also has. Since you asked 3 things, I think I can only say that one is hard work. Definitely, nothing happens without hard work. And all this talk of smart work and all this is
Yeah.
total bakwas. Hard work is most important. Everything comes after hard work.
Yeah.
Once you worked hard, then you can work smart and everything. So never shy away, particularly youngsters. That time will not come back. If you don't work hard when you are young, you
Yeah.
don't get anywhere actually in any field.
Mhm.
Second is having a worldview. So that this is extremely important. I came from a background where my father was always interested in reading about current affairs, politics. I would read the newspaper from first word to last word. Every top magazine that was available at that time when I was growing up, I would read, and I really later on realized that that helped me tremendously in building a worldview about things that was not there with some of my friends and colleagues later on.
Mhm. Mhm.
So knowing about things, having a ability to have some conversation, having that worldview, that gives you a perspective, and that has helped me immensely in this kind of a role where I lead a global team across many countries, and I've been doing so for like 15 odd years now. So yeah, worldview is extremely important.
Mhm.
Of course, build your domain knowledge, but worldview. Third would be connections and networking. So while I give this example a lot that in the age of social media, we all think of followers and connections in numbers. And what we don't realize that all of this is atmospheric oxygen. So when you need really oxygen, you don't look at the sky and say, okay, somebody will help me. You need an oxygen mask. So you also need some deep connections who will
Yeah.
help you when you need that help.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between what I say, what is the atmospheric oxygen and what is available to you in a cylinder. So you have to look at connections and networking in that sense. So these 3 things I would say. Sorry, slightly longer answer, but we are just getting started. So hope
No,
this works.
absolutely fine. These are kind of gold, words of gold, I would say. And I've recently gone through your post, which mentioned about it's not about having 10,000 connections, but 10 people whom you can talk and whom you
Yeah.
can rely on, right? That I totally resonate with you. It's not about the numbers, but it's the quality that matters, right? So I completely get what you're saying. And with that, let's start talking about the first topic of today's conversation, which is about mid-career. And most of our audience, okay, who are part of the community are from mid-career, and I'm sure they are going to immensely benefit out of this question. So please share your insights into common challenges that professionals face during the mid-career phase and how they can overcome them.
So firstly, Naveen, I think mid-career is the longest phase in our lives. Sometimes even more than our marriage, actually. And we underestimate the impact and the importance of this phase. Most people start working at, let's say, 22, 23, around that age. In another 4 or 5 years, they hit a mid-career, beginner phase. So from the mid 20s to mid 50, 60, 70s, depending on how long you work, you could be working for in mid career for 50 years or more.
Mhm.
And most people, by definition, don't reach the top because the top is reserved for only few people. So even if you've done really well in life, you may not, or in your career, you may not reach the top because the path there is really crowded. So you
Yeah.
may not get that opportunity. And so this is one of the challenges that I explain to people, that it is not only about you, it is a relative concept. You
Mhm.
going up is relative. So you
Yeah.
could have done everything that was asked of you, but somebody else did even more and or is even more ready for that position. So tough luck. So understanding this is one of the biggest challenges.
Mm-hmm.
The second is, of course, the feeling of being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling of being stuck is really a feeling. You may or may not be stuck, but it is a feeling. It is like, having that inertia or not feeling a sense of belonging or no passion. These are all symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And when these symptoms happen, then of course people start to feel, I can say that, disconnected with work.
Mm-hmm.
They just show up. What is today popular called coffee badging. People just go to work and just swipe their card and come back and have coffee and come back and those kind of things. That is really, really, and that actually pushes you further down in the. So if you are not getting a promotion, not getting a salary hike, not getting the next new job or role,
Mm-hmm.
or the next senior role, if you demonstrate all these symptoms, you are actually going down. So even that 5% chance becomes 1% now. So this is very difficult to explain to mid-career professionals. That is one of the challenges I see when I speak to people. And I think we can talk more about how to overcome.
Yeah.
But very briefly, I would say that the most common cause is complacency. People start to believe that they are in the job because of their skills, unique and all. Nothing is unique, man. Whatever you do can be done by 20 other people. So people start believing that they are indispensable and become complacent, and then this downward slide starts to happen, and then all these other symptoms of inertia, lack of that belongingness, feeling passion, all that starts coming in. And of course, one big thing is that most people I meet have not done any study, any curriculum, any course after they graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
They are depending on that 20-year-old skill set or 15 or 25-year-old skill set, as the case may be, to help them succeed today. How will this happen? It's a
fair point.
yeah. So I think these would be my summary for your question, Naveen.
No, great insights. I think complacency and also feeling of being stuck and the lack of passion. I can observe these things amongst my colleagues, and I can relate to it because I am able to enter this mid-career. And of course, that is one of the reasons I started my podcasting also, because I don't want life to be monotonous. And at the same time, these conversations are helping me to go next level. Like this was started in 2020 versus where I am today, right? I have grown personally a lot because every conversation, every guest like you is adding a lot of value, and I'm getting to know a lot of great things, and which is helping me to get to that next level. And so, moving on to the follow-up question on this one, Anshuman. So, in your role as a mid-career coach, what advice do you give to individuals that are experiencing stagnation in their careers?
So I think first thing important, Naveen, is that I am also in a mid-career journey, right? So it is not that I am advising people standing on some pedestal and all. I am also in the same journey, right? So I'm not a CEO, I'm not a CX, so I may be playing a large global role, leadership role, but I'm very clear and conscious that I've not reached where I want to. So there is a journey. So technically, I'm also in mid-career. And the only reason, and I'm not a full-time coach as well, so I have a full-time job. In that context, when I meet people or when people come to me for some advice or input or for some coaching session, firstly, I'm grateful that somebody is willing to pay for that time, because all I do is to give them perspective. But the most important message I give is that don't wait for career accidents. So, of course, nobody can predict an accident, but don't wait for that accident. Many people I meet are actually technically waiting for that accident to happen. So, it is like, you are going on a road on the wrong side without helmet, without a proper bike, without anything. You are almost like sitting duck for an accident. So, don't do that, right? So, accident can still happen if you're driving properly, you have taken all precaution, it can still happen, but the chances are much lower. So firstly, that is something that is very important. Act in advance, build a saleable skill set, something that you can sell, something that people will pay you for. Grow from where you left college. Don't just stay where you were in college, and add some skill sets. Market yourself very well. And I have one formula which I can share with your audience, with your permission, Naveen, is the formula I share in my coaching sessions called SHINE. So you have to shine today to do well tomorrow. Many people make this mistake in trying to get the new job. They compromise the current job.
Yeah.
So you can't be dreaming about tomorrow and ruining your today.
Yeah.
Right? So first job is today. This is already with you, right? That may or may not happen. The future one.
Agreed.
So shine is a formula I share with people, which is SHINE. S is for social skills. So be socially fluid. Learn with people, mingle with people, be a part of a social group. I'm not saying waste your time in partying and all, but be socially fluid. H is for hard work. Nothing happens without hard work. I already spoke about it. I is for intellect as in problem solving. So everybody hires you to solve problems. Nobody is interested in your gyan. People are interested in, can you solve my problem? So in particularly in a job situation, people want problems to be solved. So the I is for intellect or intelligence, you can say. N is for numbers. So any job that you do, irrespective of whether it is sales, HR, quality, top leadership, you have to meet your numbers.
Yeah.
You can't be just a good guy and friendly with everybody and not meet your number. That is nonsense. So many people actually get into that I would say complacent zone where they think that being a nice guy or girl is okay. You don't really need to have the numbers are very important. And E is for emotionally agile, or B, because setbacks will happen, life will throw surprises. So what will you do at that time? So SHINE is the formula. Shine, that you shine today to shine bright tomorrow.
So one thing that resonated well is in terms of excelling in what we are doing today, so that you can go to the next level. But most of the times, one thing what I observed is people always look at their next level without performing well in their current level. Okay, what's next? What's next? Right? So I'm sure you might have come across those kind of situations.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, and you mentioned about upskilling, and people rely on some degrees which they might have acquired or studied or earned about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and probably relying on only those things without upskilling. So I would love to hear from you, how important is this adaptability and upskilling in navigating the rapidly changing landscape of various industries. And today, if we talk about the technology, and not just IT, but every field has been progressing rapidly ever since COVID has started, right? And it is changing at a pace faster than ever in the history.
I agree and disagree also, Naveen, because of course the pace is high, but this is not the first time in history.
Yeah.
So one of the problems is that we read 2 years of history and whatever we have lived and assume that that is history. This is not history.
Yeah.
Thousands of years have gone by, and so many cycles of the same thing have happened. We can learn from those things.
Right.
So even COVID, we could learn from earlier pandemics. Of course, the advantage was that this was the first pandemic where the vaccine was being developed during the pandemic. So earlier pandemics, any treatment or vaccine was developed afterwards, not during. This was the first one. So there is always something extra in every new thing. In terms of technology also, there are many things happening, evolving today, and because of the pace, adoption, size, a certain level of global democratization, something is developed in France or US or China or Taiwan or Japan or New Zealand, it is available to us at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas earlier it used to take months or sometimes years for that to happen. So these things have changed.
Yeah.
In my view, other things really don't change. So adaptability remains extremely important. It was important earlier as well. It is important today as well. People who don't adapt very well fall by the wayside. And the world doesn't stop for you because you think in a certain way. One example I can give you from our own profession. You are a Lean Six Sigma certified professional. You will know. Today, if you go to a senior manager, a senior professional, senior leader in a company, and talk about the importance of Lean Six Sigma, no, you will be shown the door in 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. So, because it has become mainstream, you are expected to know. Many people are expected to know. I don't care whether you are solving a problem using Lean Six Sigma or something else, as long as you are solving the problem. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when at least I was, quite active in Lean Six Sigma, it was very important to do it the Lean Six Sigma way. So that has changed. Same way, technology, a lot of things have changed. Adaptation is extremely important. Otherwise, people just stay where they started their career, and then they complain that, oh, this thing is not very important today, and leadership doesn't pay attention, and X, Y, Z. So that is something I can share about adaptability. I mean,
Mhm. Sure. On the upskilling part, like what should people focus on, like, and
so
depending
ups.
on the career.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that part of your question. So upskilling, see, upskilling also has to be there is a framework to look at upskilling in many ways. So there is a certain skill set that has brought you where you are,
Yeah.
right? So you can, Vijay Govindarajan has explained this for innovation in companies. So he said that first box is your skill set. You can apply the same to your career also. So there is something that you do that has got you where you are. That is box one. There is something you should do which will make your current and next 2 3 years fruitful. So some skills for that, and then there is education for future. So you that is the third box. So upskilling should always be for some near term thing. Don't look
Hmm.
at things which are 10-year 20-year thing. That is education really, right? So for that you need deeper education because those are evolving fields. So upskilling is important. We already said that you unless you upskill, you don't know what is happening today. You don't have the skill set. It is important. But my always advise people do something that you can monetize today, tomorrow, and in the next 2 3 years,
Hmm.
and do it something that is related to your current role. Unless of course you have a passion. For example, something have a parallel passion like I know somebody who is a very gifted musician also. So apart
Hmm.
from being a quality person, he is a very gifted musician also. So he's upskilling actually in the music space.
You're right.
Uh, but that is a personal passion. I'm not commenting on personal passion. But professionally, you should look for something that will take your career 2 to 3 year to 5 years ahead and
Hmm.
add some edge to it. Don't do some completely unrelated thing. Like last 3 years, everybody was doing data science. Whether you have any knowledge of data, whether you have any understanding of what happens in that, everybody wants to become a data scientist. As long as you can spell data scientist, you want to become one.
Hmm.
What will happen? Only the companies who are selling the courses will make money.
Yeah.
Nobody else, because that temperament, skill set, approach is not there. So please evaluate before you invest your money about what you want to do. Don't jump for trends and bandwagons because they rarely work.
I think
Rarely work.
I think FOMO factor kicks in here. Fear of missing out. Okay, somebody else
This is
has
not
done
FOMO,
it.
man. This is stupidity. this this is not FOMO. You are just being polite. This is top level stupidity.
Right.
Everybody jumping on to data scientist
Yeah.
because somebody's neighbor got a 50 lakh job offer for being
Mm,
a data scientist.
right.
That guy is really good at data science. He or she knows what to do. You
Yeah.
have zero clue.
Mm, mm, mm.
Right? So unless of course you have that inherent capability, you have invested years in learning that skill set, in honing that skill set,
Yeah.
in developing your knowledge, how
Mm.
will you go?
Agreed. Agreed. Okay. So yeah, let's move forward and shifting gears slightly, and now let's talk about the LinkedIn aspect. Like you're recognized as a LinkedIn top voice, and how has this leveraging LinkedIn contributed to your own professional journey, and how can others maximize its potential? So I'll ask a layman question as to complement this one. So did you ever experience a growth trajectory or something through LinkedIn?
So first thing, I think this week is exactly 2 years from when I got that LinkedIn top voice thing. So
Wow.
we are talking as we are talking. It is exactly 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that announcement came on 25th Jan 2022. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's been 2 years. But and thank you for highlighting that. But being a top voice and all is all. I keep saying it is all Mohmaya. So this will happen if you are in a space, you consistently do something, it will happen. And even if it doesn't happen, nothing really
Yeah.
changes. I
Mm.
was never gunning for it, and if it is taken away tomorrow, I have no problem. I'm sure you know most people think this way or should think this way.
Mm.
Secondly, contribution, yes. Even before top voice and other things, I got my last 3 or 4 jobs through LinkedIn.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So because I was active, because I was I was sharing my views. People got to know. So somebody, and assuming even if you don't contribute on LinkedIn, if you're not writing, if you are active and your profile is well updated. See what happens today is that if you appear for an interview, first thing the recruiter or the hiring manager does is to check your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
If it is not up to date, then generally what happens is that you don't get called for the
Yeah.
interview. That I think is there. To answer the question specifically, has something happened to me? Of course, the job part is there, and in the last few years, I've got tremendous love, affection, respect
Yeah.
because of this platform. I mean, you are speaking to me. Your podcast
Exactly.
is a fantastic. Hundreds of episodes. You found me worthy only because you could
Yeah.
see that I could add value to your. How did you find me? You found me because I was active there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. So I completely cherish that experience, and I'm grateful that I'm seeing this phase in my life. Whether it will last or not, God knows. But enjoying. Yeah.
Okay. So how can professionals also leverage their LinkedIn profile
Two
so that they can find opportunities? Yeah.
I think two, three ways definitely. One, keep your LinkedIn profile updated. Most people don't invest. They start operating it when they need a job. They
Yeah.
don't update it on a regular basis. So there are things happening in your life. You can add projects, you can add skill sets, you can add connections, you can add recommendations, you can add so many things. Every month, if you make a little improvement to your profile, in 6 months, your profile will be all star profile.
Yeah.
Right. Don't do it in one day because you will not get everything that you did in over the last 15, 20 years in one day. You will not remember all that. So keep it on a regular basis, maybe
Yeah.
weekly a little bit or monthly a little bit. That is one. Two, expand your connections and network amongst like-minded people. But but offer some help. Don't ask for a job straight away. Build that connection, and in future something may happen. So the worst way to ask for a job is to ask it directly. Doesn't really work. Even if you are very desperate or you are out of a job or something, it doesn't work because most people who are in that position get many such requests every day. So then you
Exactly.
become one more request.
Yeah.
I think the third one will be, do share your opinion and contribute regularly, even if you don't want to be an influencer or you top voice or something. You should contribute regularly so that people know what your views on certain topics are. Of course, keep your views professional. Don't talk about films and all or something political or other features, because you don't want, those are not your professional views, and you will unnecessarily invite comments that you don't want. So broadly, I would say these three things. Work on your profile. Secondly, build like-minded connections, and thirdly, contribute.
Hmm.
As you can. So no need to write daily and all.
Yeah.
Once a week is also okay, but do something meaningful which will enhance your brand. So if I'm known as a mid-career coach, a quality management professional, and I don't write on these two topics, then how is my brand enhanced?
Yeah.
Right. So it is not enhanced.
Yeah, great tips, and I can resonate with you on that. In fact, I also get a lot of requests from people. The moment they get connected, especially freshers, and they ask, "I'm looking for openings, okay, for freshers, and if you have anything, do let me know." I think that doesn't work, and probably we have to get to know each other before even somebody can refer, right? So yeah, I totally agree with you. And let's move forward to the next one. It's about being in the top 1% of Topmate platform. Like, how does it feel and how did you get there?
I don't know. Like the top voice, I didn't think about this at all. See, when you approach something with a interest area to
Hmm.
serve, to have some passion for it, you're not necessarily looking for a outcome.
Yeah,
So I'm not very active on Topmate, but I do give my time every week some small slots because people do. I've like I said, I have a full time job, so I have to first do justice to fill my full time job. But
yeah,
whatever time I can find free from that, I do give out to Topmate, and people have been kind. They find time. So I can't really say how I got to 1%. Maybe there are a lot of members who don't use it properly, so people like me get lucky and get in top five, 1%. So that's all I can say.
that's
No,
your modesty. Like, I have gone through all the reviews. Like, people have been extremely happy with the conversations and with the kind of perspectives that you have shared.
they're kind. I'm glad that in spite of the fact that they have to pay, and they have to pay a little bit.
Yeah.
It is important. So yeah. Good.
Now let's talk about your day job part in terms of being a quality management expert and a seasoned leader in that area. So, can you share a memorable experience where a focus on quality management has resulted in a significant positive impact on both business outcomes as well as employees?
Oh, lots. So, I mean, my whole career since 1994, I've been a quality management professional, or business transformation, process excellence, with delivery excellence, and those kind of things. While in one of the roles, while I was heading the process excellence team for a bank, we were able to support the bank by reducing prepaid debit card by activation by almost a day, right? So it was taking 22 hours then, and I was able to help the team reduce it to 16 minutes. Then there was another insurance, and this was not in India, overseas, where we had slipped to number 5 in the insurance market. Within 1 year, my project was able to bring it back to number 2,
Mhm.
and multi-million dollar benefit within 1 year. So not only the team benefit, the employees benefit, the company benefited. Of course, we made good money. The company made good money, and there are tons of these examples where a well done quality management project actually helps the company not only maybe find a customer, retain them, keep their employees happy, save cost, increase revenue. These four are very key for that.
Mhm. Got it. And when it comes to leading these quality initiatives, one of the main factors that comes into picture is in terms of achieving these financial goals, it might have some negative impact on customers as well as employees, right? So I'm curious to understand from you, how do you balance achieving these financial goals while ensuring a positive impact on customers as well as employees?
I don't see too much negative impact. Of
Mhm.
course, there can be some short-term pain, because some projects may be that customers may have to change their method of working with us, or some employees may have to change their process. We may have to cut down some team sizes. We may have to change some technology. So yes, some short-term thing will be there, but uh, in the larger scheme of things, I don't remember any project which actually resulted in longer term pain. Thankfully, I have worked for companies which were usually hiring. So even if we were able to release some staff from a team because of improved efficiency, the rest of the company was able to absorb them most of the cases.
Yeah.
So I would think that if the company does well, and even if some projects are resulting in efficiency and loss of job or loss of FTE, other teams will be able to
Observe.
take those roles. So that has happened a lot in my career, and in fact, I have prioritized that quite a bit. So I can certainly say that no long-term pain happens, but yes, short-term definitely things can go a
Mhm.
little wrong. But look, anything worthwhile in life, there will be some pain, some difficulty. So what to?
Wonderful. And this has been an incredible conversation, and it's time for us to add further spice in the episode. So, with your consent, I'll kick off the second rapid fire round. Shall we do it?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, comes my first bullet. And if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. And if you have unlimited resources, which project would you pick?
Improve sales. I definitely believe that, if a company can sell and get customers,
Mhm.
delivery will find a way to deliver. Primary, just because I'm a quality professional or delivery or operations professional, I don't say that it is the most important thing. Most important thing for any company, any CEO, is to get customers. Of course, at a right price and good profitability and all that. But getting customers, doing sales is the toughest job,
Mhm.
and that should get the maximum respect. And in my book, that is the most important one.
Good one. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
I did say brick by brick is one word if you add some hyphen. So brick by brick. But yeah, so I would stick to that.
Okay, fair enough. And if your life was a movie, what would it be? What would be the title, and who would play you?
Again, the answer is brick by brick. Surprise, surprise. So I thoroughly believe that everything in life. happens through that. Who would play me? I don't know. I mean, I've never given. This is a totally new question. Maybe Ayushman Khurrana.
Yeah,
You know,
okay. Uh-huh.
because of the similarity of the name and
Uh,
small town upbringing and just down to earth kind of thing. I like being who I am. I have zero image issues or anything, and he seems to be the same.
okay.
Uh, so yeah,
So that brings me to my next question, which is going to contradict it. But if you could swap your life with someone else for a day, who would it be?
Harsha Bhogle. This one I am very clear. I absolutely adore the man. And look, there is a reason for this because I don't like having role models who are so out of reach for us that we can
Right.
never get them.
Mhm.
Most people are lazy when they say Steve Jobs is my role model. You are never going to get there, man. So you are just being lazy in putting a role model at a level where
Where
you
you
don't have
can't
to do
reach.
anything. So Harsha Bhogle is somewhere where I can at least learn from him. I can hopefully meet him someday. I can, he's reachable. And I see him, so I can learn from him, imbibe. So I would rather have talked with
Love that
him
perspective.
than,
Yeah,
yeah. So because otherwise, what is the point in Elon Musk and all?
true.
There is zero chance, man. He will give me any time, or I will learn from him, and that is laziness of the highest order. When people say that, so
I simply love it. And here comes the last bullet out of rapid fire. So
sure.
if you were to invent a fantasy gadget, right, what would it be, or anything you would like to see
For myself or for
for the
humanity?
world or for yourself?
For world, I think it should be something that can help people get deep sleep for
Mhm.
7 8 hours. That is the pandemic that nobody is talking about. People are restless. People are not resting well, sleeping
Yeah.
well, and sleep is root cause of most problems people have.
Hmm.
I thankfully touch wood have no sleep issues. I sleep very well, but I see a lot of people who don't have. So I would love to invent a gadget and gift it to the world where people can just automatically get a good sleep for 7 hours or whatever time they need.
Hmm. Super. I loved it, and I think that will be the most useful gadget which will ever get invented for sure. And let us hope it comes alive. And with that, let's flip back to the mainstream. So,
Sure.
what will be your key message or tips on to our audience in terms of how to build a great professional network, which will be of value add to both of them, right? Not just for the namesake.
So I think for first one is would be intentional about it. So you must be doing. Don't just send invites and add people left, right, and center without any intention. What is the reason you want to connect with that
Mhm.
person? So having some intention is important. People will respect your intention. So and like I said earlier, also having numbers is all vanity. You can have 10,000, 20,000 followers, connections, and all 50,000, 100,000. But if you can't pick up the phone and talk to five of them or 10 of them, what is the point?
Yeah.
So intention helps. So I think intention is important. Second is the intention should be of giving, not receiving. So you even if you are connecting with somebody who's senior and more ahead in life, offer to give whatever you can give in some situation. Now, that offer of giving is extremely important because that eases you and eases the relationship as well. People then don't see you as a pest, and people then don't see you and as somebody who's only there to receive. And you will need some skill set also, right? So
Yeah.
when you have to offer something, you should have something. So that will also put pressure on you, positive pressure to build some skill set. If I'm going to offer something to you, even if it is free, it should be worthwhile.
True.
So I will work on that skill, right? So for example, this conversation, so when you reached out to me, I did ask for, can I look at some previous episode. Once I
Yeah.
looked at your episode, I said, this man is fantastic, man. He's
Yeah.
done so many episodes, such fantastic conversation. I would love to be on this kind of thing, right?
Right.
If you just send me a link and something, I would probably say no. Anybody
Right.
would say, right?
Yeah.
In this case, of course, I did some research, so you did some research, but I'm just generally saying, so that helps.
Absolutely.
So since you have that skill, you have well developed that skill, it's easy for me to say yes. It will be easy for anybody to do. So that
True.
first one is intention, second is giving, third is keep working on it and look for some offline connections as well. Don't depend on this online connection only. Look for some offline. If offline is not possible, some video connection, something. Some
Yeah.
look for some. more than just having this only online.
I get it. And just to, for the benefit of the audience, I would like to share my experience on the networking part, right? Over 60% of the guests that are hosted on TGV across three platforms are from LinkedIn. And in addition to that, I reach out to people on Coffee Mug, Lunch Club, and there are certain podcast matchmaking platforms like matchmaker.com, podmatch.com, and then podcast.com, right? And in 80 to 90% of the cases, I don't get a no from the guest because I reach out to them with an intent. In the very first message, I say, hey,
See, yeah,
I found your profile and I got to know about
and
you have done this particular
I'm
thing.
sure most of these people are sorry to
Yeah, sure, please continue.
intercept, but I'm sure most of these people are new to you. They are
Yes,
new to you.
exactly.
You are new.
Yeah,
Even then, because of the power of intention, because of the power of giving, and
yes,
because of your current skill set that you
yes,
have developed and
yeah,
honed, you are
yeah.
able to get a yes. So that is true in life for everything.
Yeah. And one other thing is, once we are offering a great experience to this customer, like my guest is a customer, my listener is a customer, right? So I keep getting a lot of references. Like if you like something with me, definitely you will share, right? So likewise, it has been a chain
Yeah.
reaction. Somebody who gave me guest in English, they refer me Telugu guest, Hindi guest, and so on. So likewise, and there are certain instances where the chain has gone to sixth, seventh level first
Ah,
speaker, right? So that I can resonate. And many times I try to acknowledge them during the conversation as well. But the power of networking is something immense, and we have to leverage it wisely with the right intention. And I really enjoyed every bit of this conversation. And thank you so much. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Us platform? Like, did it meet your expectations or anything? I'm ready for critical feedback.
no, it exceeded my expectations, Naveen. And having heard some of your episodes, I kind of had an idea that you are this energetic and positive, full of passion kind of a person. So that came through very well.
Mhm.
I do enjoy sharing what I
Yeah.
know and what will I do with all this experience that I've gained. If it can't be used by others, so and you are taking it to more people, and thankfully that will help. So I loved it, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah.
And I always share a little bit that if somebody after this episode is aired wants to reach out to me, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Either follow me or send a connection.
Yeah.
Just let me know that you found me through Naveen's podcast, because then I will know that this podcast is working. So
Yeah, that's great. So, folks, as always, we'll find the link to Anshuman's LinkedIn profile as well as his Topmate profile and anything else he wants me to share publicly. And do mention in your connection invite that you found through TGV. At least you'll be able to establish that first-hand connection, right? So that would be my ask. And Anshuman, thank you so much for being part of my journey, and I really enjoyed every bit of it and really appreciate you taking valuable time out of your busy schedule. And I'm looking forward to many more conversations in future. Thank you once again.
sure, thank you very much, and
Thank you.
my best wishes to your audience, and may they succeed in whatever they try.
Pleasure, and thank you once again. So, folks, that was our episode with Anshuman. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe to us from wherever you're tuned in, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And if you have enjoyed this conversation, please feel free to share it with at least three of your friends or colleagues who would also like the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. All right. So let's now hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. So, as promised at the beginning of the episode, I said I'm going to talk about Deming Prize. Let's talk about Deming Prize. So, Deming Prize is established in 1951 and it is a prestigious quality management award named after W. Edwards Deming, a renowned statistician, professor, author, lecturer, and consultant. And the Deming Prize is not limited to Japan, where it originated. It has gained international recognition, and organizations from various countries outside Japan also actively pursue and receive the prize. And the examination process for the Deming Prize is rigorous and very comprehensive. It involves a thorough assessment of an organization's quality management practices, including on site visits and also detailed evaluations by expert committees. So that's about Deming Prize. In case if you or your organization has won Deming Prize, or if you have heard about any other prices in the quality world, do let me know. I would be happy to learn more from you. And folks, that's it for today. And thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV community. We would love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback through our social media platforms, or you can also email us at theguidingusforward@gmail.com. And let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. So until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you on in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.